I'm sorry I haven't done a video on my Max Soggs channel in a while. I have a cold, so I'm just going to push through something. And I don't know if it has any interest to you, but anyway, I have this other channel called Max Can't Help It. It's horrible, cringeworthy, but anyway, if you want to go look at it. And what I do on that channel is I'll take videos, like lately I'm taking videos from The Daily Show, and I want to cut clips out of them and then comment on each clip. And this is something I think anybody might want to do who wants to start a YouTube channel and comment about stuff. So I figured I'd share how I do it. Now, what's amazing to me is I've tried all kinds of applications like, Bandicam's Bandicut, blanking on some of the names here, Video Proc. Of course, you could use Kdenlive, Shotcut, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere, Microsoft's internal video editor. I mean, there are tons of little editors out there you can use, but they all are overkill for me. All I want to do is only the specific parts of what I'm doing. I want it to be very fast. So I ended up coming up with my own solution. It works pretty well, I think, and maybe it'll work for you. So I'm going to go through how it works, and there's code up on my GitHub. So if you want to, toy with it or use it or whatever, create your own thing, you can. I did do a video on how I took the auto hotkey and used ChatGPT to make not ChatGPT, a Copilot to make a Python version, and that worked pretty well. And I should say, I love FFmpeg, but it is, a lot of parameters. It's hard to understand. But the great thing about these new language models like Copilot and whatever is that you can say, oh, I want FFmpeg to do this, write me a batch script or whatever, and it'll do it for you. It's just really incredible. So I just want to say, so if it's anything you want to do, actually, like a quick little utility, it's amazing what these new language models will do. So I just want to say that again here too. All right, so let's go into how the process works. So let's just say that I want to, well, this isn't a daily show. Actually, this guy I've been following, I don't know if you follow Ryan Long and Danny. Anyway, they're, 80% isn't good like Ryan Long, but when they hit it, they really hit it. Anyway, okay, so let's say that this is a video that I want to cut pieces out of. So I'll load the video,
from the FB.
and I'll go to share clip, and I'll copy the clip, and then in my, I'll drag a batch file that I have here. And actually, let me just show you what's in this batch file. Bring this over here. So what it'll do is it'll, asks for a name that saves to a variable, and then it'll just run YouTube DLP to make the best video, because otherwise it returns WebM, usually that I don't really want to use. So here's the link, right? So set this to the link, and then I'll put it here. Anyway, so this is just a, just a simple batch file. Okay, so I'll run this. I'm going to pull the file, the command prompt over here, right? So I copied that link. I'm going to put the link here, and then I'll hit enter. And then YouTube DLP will copy down the video from YouTube. And Y2DLP is awesome. Definitely recommend it if you're doing this type of stuff. I also noticed it worked with cspan.org. So yeah, it works with a lot of places. That's great. Okay, so it's downloaded the file that I'm going to want to create some clips from. So because the file name is long, it has weird characters, I'm just going to shorten it just to make it, not have problems with other things. Okay, so I have the YouTube video that I'm going to want to comment on. So I'm going to load, and I hid this. Here's my auto hotkey script. In fact, let me first just show you the hotkey script in Notepad. And so this is basically the code for the hotkey script, which I might go to later. Anyway, I do this a couple different ways. I'm going to show you another way, just using batch files to do all this, and that'll, I think, make more sense to how this is working here. But at any rate, okay, so I'm going to load this, and let's go back to the folder where I have the file. I'm going to shrink this a little bit. Okay, so now I'll drag this to the auto hotkey window, and as you can see, it gets the name, and that's crimes down here, and then it says, okay, I'm going to create a proxy, which will be AVI. Now, and again, this is something that all these other little small programs don't have, but it's a little feature I really want. If I just load the MP4 file, even though it's a good quality one, into an editor, as I scrub back and forth, even though I have an RTX 4050 in here or something like that, it's still going to be slow. It's going to jump around because in H264, 265 compression, you have both, per frame compression, and you have temporal compression, which is, going out in time. So, it'll write a frame, and then it'll just do the changes to that each frame. And as you scrub along, it's now trying to go back like, oh, I need this information to get this. So like it struggles trying to rebuild the frame again. And so when I'm trying to just go frame by frame and look for things when I'm scrubbing, I want it to go very fast. And that's sort of a problem. In fact, let me see if I can just show that to you here. Okay, so I've dragged it into the MPV player. And watch what happens when I try and drag through the timeline. It's sort of like it's just jumping around, right? So it's just jumping around to each keyframe. And so I don't want that. I want it to, like, if I pull it, to sort of, if I go, back and forth, for it to be more responsive. Now, actually, this one doesn't look that bad, but some of them are pretty bad. All right, so what I want to do is I want to create a proxy. So I'm going to do create proxy, and I'll just drag this over here. And it'll basically just open a command window, and it'll run an ffmpeg command that will create a proxy. And we can see that here. And actually, usually it's larger. Now, the proxy is the format that I use, the codec that I use is MJPEG, which is motion JPEG. And it's a very old system, but I love it because there's no temporal compression. It basically compresses each image, like, each image is like a JPEG image. So if it's 24 frames per second, you have 24 little JPEGs, and that's it. The video is only all these JPEGs strung along, and it plays in 24 frames a second. So that means as you jump around to each frame, it's not, when it goes to a frame, it has all the information of that frame, and it shows it to you, and you're done. So it works very quickly. So let me show you here. So now if I play the video.
Hi, I'm Cito Gasson from the FBI. Last week, we released our 2023 crime statistics, and it's a lot of good news. Crime was significantly lower in 2023.
Here he is. So now if I move this around, you can see it's like, I don't know, it's just a lot. It scrubs really, really quickly. I never have any jitters or whatever. I can go up and down, as fast as I want, as slow as I want, going frame by frames. Now you'll see it's very pixelated, and that's because I'm telling it, because I want because I'm only using it really to do the cut points. I don't care that it's the low quality, right? It's just a proxy. But as you see, it's actually usually larger than the file, because even though it's 500 by 300 or whatever the resolution size is, because each image is compressed by itself and there's no temporal compression, it's generally a large file. But you can delete it afterwards. Okay, so I have the what's that thing going there? Okay, so now I play the
Hi,
video.
I'm Cito Gasson from the FBI. Last week, we released our 2023 crime statistics, and it's a lot of good news.
So,
crime was significant.
Let's just say that I want to cut from that. This was a bad video to choose. Anyway, so let's just say I want to cut from right here, right? I do mark in. What it does is it sends Control-C to MPV player, and it has a little script, and it copies that time code in right here. And let's just say that I'm playing
in
it,
2023 in the
and I want to get it to just after he,
United States.
right there. So now I just hit mark out, and now down here I'll give it a name. First clip. Oops. Just move this so you can see it. I'm going to hit process. What it will do is it will take the beginning of the time code and it'll put it first. So it's at 9679. So well, actually 12.4.5. What's it doing? It's doing the, 9.6.7.6.9. So it'll take the beginning of the clip and it'll put it there. And that way they all go in order when I sort them. So I know the chronological order. Anyway, that's how I do it. I go through the video. I cut out all the clips. I give each a name that I'm going to want to use. And that's how I do it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the some batch files, which I think will make it even clearer how this is working. Because I realize I don't even need all this. Okay, I'm going to show you the next method where I'm using with Windows batch files to do sort of the same thing. And I think it'll make it, because these are the same commands that are in the auto hotkey file script. So I would take, I have three basic files. Well, I have it in steps, right? So the step would be to create a proxy batch. So let me drag that over here, excuse me. So all this does is it will take the name of the file, right, vid file name. It sets the proxy is going to be _proxy AVI, and then it just does an FFmpeg command. As you can see, the scale is 960 by 540. The codec is MJPEG, and the scaling stuff in the target, and that's all it does. Does the same thing as the auto hotkey. It just creates a version that's an AVI file. I think I deleted this one to just save space. But anyway, that's what it does. So that's the first thing I do is I create the proxy file. So in this one, I didn't use a proxy file. I didn't put in the stuff to do it, but no matter. Okay. So now in the second link, what I'll do is I'll just run this. Oh, so what's going on? Oh, okay. You drag it. Okay, so it's only been a few days. I've already forgotten how it works. So the way it works is you drag the video file onto the script, and it'll launch MPV, force window yes, geometry 800 by 600. Keep it small. Keep it open equals yes, which means I don't want it to close after it plays the video. And then it's going to load a script called copy time. Well, actually, it loads a bunch of scripts, but I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so we take our file that we want to cut. Let's just turn this down. So it loads the video file here, and then I've created some other Lua scripts where, let's just say I'm playing
big fans
here,
of Lena Khan, and
I want to copy it. So I do Alt M. I did Alt B and Alt N and Alt M because I like to have my fingers like the sort of like far apart. I don't want to do like crunch over. So I do Alt B. As you see, time code saved. And what it does is it saves the time code to this mark-in file, right? 4.17. And then, oops, the wrong one. So you can set 4. And let's just say I play
according
it.
to Jon Stewart, basically.
Okay, it's 6. I'm going to do Alt N. And now it's going to save the out key, mark out. See, it's 606. And then I have a keystroke where if I do Alt M, so this is very fast, right? Batch file created E. So if we open up this batch file, what it does is it creates this run FFmpeg. And you see, and it's going to say generate clip from 4 to 6. So I remember what I did. Enter the output file name without MP3. This is for the name of the file. And then this is, it says FFmpeg. Just take out the time code between this and save it as, well, this is the input file, and save it the output file. So I'll show you how this runs. So I'll just run the FFmpeg. I'm going to pull this over here, and it's going to say, what's file, and say I want to do test clip for you. And I do that. And then it's just going to run FFmpeg, and they see, there you go, test clip for you.
According to Jon Stewart, basically.
So there's the test clip for you. So that's the same method as the other way, but just I use it into batch files. So it'd be easy for me to, because you might not want to load auto hotkey on your system or something, even though, like I said, I still use the auto hotkey. I'm not using this method, but if I was traveling, I might use it, and there might be other times where I might use it. But anyway, you can see how it works. Okay, so the last thing I need to show is the Lua script. Okay, before I get into the Lua script, I just looked at the stuff that I just recorded. Now, by the way, I have a cold, so again, I'm not really thinking straight. But I want to explain, again, why I'm doing this, not using like this one of these other little programs. The frustration I had with all the other little software programs was the proxy thing. But I say the biggest thing was the naming thing. The ability in this other software where I take the part clip that I wanted and then easily give the name that I want and put in the folder that I wanted. Like, none of them made that really easy. I want that to be so fast, like in, out, name, save, next. In, out, name, save, next. And the other thing is, like, as you can see in this, like, I wanted to put in front of the name the beginning of that clip segment so I could find it again in the video. And again, none of the software would have that customization of a name, to do it. They might have it, but then you'd have to go in each. So anyway, yeah, it's just, you tell me in the comments if I missed this great software that I should have used. But again, I wanted control over everything: the codecs, the naming of the file, the whatever. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this whole process, just in case it's not completely clear. Okay, so on the Lua side, so the way MPV Player, the nice thing about it is that it will run a Lua script. Now, I don't know how to program in Lua, so the script I was using with the auto hotkey, somebody else had programmed it, and all it does is that when you hit Control-C, it copies the time code to the clipboard, and then you can go get it from the clipboard. I didn't point that out before, that when I hit the mark in, it's going to MPV, it's copying the time code to the clipboard, then auto hotkey is going to the clipboard, and copying, getting the number, and then formatting in the FFmpeg format for the in-out, whatever, building of the FFmpeg string. Okay, command. So when I was doing this thing, I thought, it would be nice if I could actually just do it all in the Lua script. And so I think I used Claude AI. I think I used Claude AI because I'm using Claude AI lately to try that out. So I asked Claude AI, do me a Lua script that would basically take the time code from MPV Player, and again, because it's Lua, it has access to the MPV properties, and then format in the FFmpeg format, and then save it to a file. And I just could not get it working, and then I put the it would work, like one keystroke would work, and then another one wouldn't, like the Control-C, the copy to clipboard would work, and then I tried the other thing and it wouldn't work, and then I couldn't, then the Control-C didn't work. It's like I had all these like weird problems, and I was just going, I probably like spent an hour on it. So yeah, it was bad, but again, I didn't have to program Lua. I just kept telling it what I wanted to do. I gave it the errors. It just kept going back and forth. I just couldn't figure it out. So finally I said, because I'd say, put some error checking here. I said, write me the script doing, this, where I could do a keystroke to save the time code to a time in text file, another keystroke to save the out point. Do that script with all error checking for every single line and stuff like that, right? So it's a Claude AI, it's this long thing, and I expected that when I ran it, the error would pop up, but it ran perfectly the first time, so it's funny. So I guess it sort of makes sense, right? Because if you think about it, right? I mean, these AI large language model systems, right? They're going out and they're getting code. Well, if they're using my old code somewhere for something, I don't put a lot of error checking in. I should, but I don't. So if it was using somebody like my stuff, no wonder it broke, right? It didn't quite understand it. So if you say all the error checking, it's going to people that have written scripts that have a lot of error checking in their code. So it's probably because, in a weird way, it's proof that people that put a lot of error debugging checking in their code are better programmers than the rest of us. Anyway, I found that very amusing. Anyway, so, but then the other weird thing is that even then it actually didn't quite work. But what I did is I put the file into a different script, and then it worked. So I had the Control C, which is the original script that guy did to save it, to save the time code into the clipboard wherever you were in the video, and then the scripts, the two different functions that I need, I put into separate scripts. So okay, so the first script is this write file in and out. So the way that the Lua works is at the end you would bind a keystroke, so you could change it to anything you want. Again, this is a great thing about solutions like this. You can put it's totally customizable. So I wanted to use, as I said, Alt B and Alt N to keep fingers, and Alt B for the mark in. So when you press Alt B, it goes save mark in, which is here. So it just sends in mark in text to the function, and if you did mark out, it would sends the same function but with mark out text file. And then if you go to the save time code, you can see all this error checking for everything, right? And so send it, and then somewhere in here, it'll send it to another function called format time code, which will take the MPV time code and format in a way that FFmpeg can use in the SS format to take the segment of video that you want and create a clip. So that's this part of the thing. And like I said, when I took this out of when I didn't put all this in one file and put separate files, for whatever reason it works, and it didn't work before. I don't know why. If you know why, you can tell me in the comments, because it'd be nice to just put it all in one file. And then the second thing that I wanted to do, what I needed to do, was this write FFmpeg. So, and this is basically, we'll just go down to the bottom, is the Alt-M to create batch file. So what this will do is it will, let's go up to the, so create batch file. It gets the path of because generally in doing this, I'm always working in the folder with the videos. So get the path to the file. What do we do? Then the mark in, mark out, right? Go get that text file. So again, we're moving the time code from the MPV to clipboard to file, and now we're going from file back into the MPV in a sense. So go get the mark in text file that you wrote and get its mark in path, get the out time code, to read the time code. So in other words, because we have it in, let's just save it to a variable. It's already in the FFmpeg format. All right, so now strip deleting zeros. Now I want this because I want it to show, when I open up the prompt, I want it to show what it's doing. It doesn't need this for the processing. So now it's going to create the command, right? FFmpeg, SS is the FFmpeg command to strip, to pull the clip from one time, what is it called? What do you call that? Anyway, one time code to another, and then save it to a thing. So it's doing the same things that other things do, and then save all that. You can see it's just writing this as a file to a batch file. And actually, I think later on I might call each batch file, just have multiple batch files for each clip. But for right now, it just keeps overriding the same one. So if we go to run FFmpeg, here you can see, it's done reading the clip. And so this will basically just create that little clip. So that's how it works. All right, so if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to ask me in the comments. Again, I love this system. I'm really fast with it at downloading a video, pulling out, finding the in and out the video, setting the name that I want for it, creating the clip, and moving back and forth. It's just so fast. I'm totally happy with it. But anyway, if you have another idea or another way of doing it, let me know. And thanks for watching.